So talk to us about that.
With him or with just artists, period?
I think I want to hear about
Wayne. Okay, okay.
Like, we know Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, man, this is where it gets tough for me because I think in the studio, and I think this is what's helped me a lot too, is because it's a sacred space. So if you weren't there, like, I don't really like to discuss it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Right.
Yeah,
right,
like
right,
it's
right.
like, bro, it's such a sacred space. It's where they're vulnerable. You know, there's so much shit. Sometimes, bro, straight up, it'll be like, today's gonna be therapy, bro. Like this.
I'm just talking and maybe I'll say.
No, he's rapping. You know what I mean? Getting it out, but it ain't ever gonna do nothing.
Right.
It is never going anywhere.
Right.
It's
Let
just
me
like
get it
there's some
off.
shit up that I need to get this shit off.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Let's get it.
Wow.
Super
Got you.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I always felt like, you know, the tracking engineer, we bring this up a lot on this podcast, is one of the most unsung hero within the process.
Absolutely.
And I think that people don't realize that if, you know, what gives a lot of mixers a lot of, how can I say, a lot of cushion is the recording engineer.
Yeah.
Like, I know I met so many mix engineers that be like, yo, bro, I didn't have to do much. And it'll be like the biggest records you've ever heard. And they'll be like, I didn't have to do much. You know, and in that, the recording engineer, I feel like just doesn't get the accolades like the mixer right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just interesting, and why I was really gung-ho just having you on is because I was like, dog, like, I just want other people to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's just as important or even maybe more in the recording process than the mixing. Because
of a bad recording is not gonna.
it's shit.
You're not gonna get a good mix out of it.
Can't polish a turd, dog. I remember when
that's hard.
When y'all first, you young as hell.
Yeah.
You never heard that one. But when I first got put on to Omar, through you and stuff like that, when Ose, you know, Ose was bouncing around a lot and stuff like that, and they were recording. And I remember I was like the only person that would casually record her, like that. I was like, at least you know we're good. Usually, like, I know I'm gonna get a good sound. Yeah,
New York, it was him and Buggy.
Yeah, and that was it.
Buggy's
Casually,
the only other
Buggy.
person.
Shout out to Buggy.
Only other person that could even get her vocal like that, and that came from, hey, yo, listen to this real quick. So.
And that was it.
Shout out Buggy Akron.
And then you went to LA and you were like, we're gonna work with recording engineers. I was like, bro, I'm praying for you. You know, bless your heart. I really hope everything.
We had some bad sessions.
And I remember, I don't know if it was it was before Omar, like that engineer came before, and you were like, bro, this is tough. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was like, yo, bro.
Where I said, yo, send me a Pro Tools template.
Yes.
And I'm gonna try to cut it myself. And this is back before I was Pro Tools efficient.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, I remember before I even got asked for your template, no, I think I had your template, but they didn't have a lot of plugins.
Right. So I gave you like so we made like a dumbed down version of it. Like
a producer from downstairs came upstairs, made a quick template. I'm not Pro Tools efficient, and I'm definitely not an engineer.
Right.
So I'm trying to record, and there's latency out the
Oh no.
Man, he came the next day. And the amount of plugins I saw him inactivate, I think Avox Duo was there, and it's just like that's latency grabber.
Command, control. I see that click for you right now. Click or inactive.
Auto tune is not on low latency mode. Like, it was so much wrong with it.
Right.
I'm so glad I'm so glad you said that. I just walked into a session the other day, or reopened one that, you know, we re-tag mixes.
Right.
And I was trying to, like, you know, just track one word. And I was like, why am I getting this latency? Auto tune's on the latency, like you mentioned and stuff. And I'm looking down my chain. I see in one of my sends Avox Duo, and something just said, what are the odds? Yeah. Deactivated it. And I'm sitting here like, Antares, do not let us talk to Tizio, because I know Chris is recording into that Duo with no latency. So what's the secret? What are you doing?
Honestly, I think that's one of my favorite plugins because I feel like it's my favorite wider.
Yeah.
But I hate that it's only input only. I'm sorry, mono inputs only. And just the latency is insane. It's like ozone level latency.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I would say, as far as Antares in the auto tune is concerned, like, I would wish they just put the low latency monitoring flick switch a little more like in front. Because I'll be honest with you, let me tell you something so bad that I didn't realize for a very long time. I was using Auto-Tune EFX for a long time, like the 9. I was using like 9. I never upgraded because I was like, look, it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't want to play with, you know the vibes. Like, you know the sound of that tune, you're like, I don't want to mess with it. And I remember, I don't know if it was Jess Jackson, that he was like kind of showing some stuff at Auto-Tune. And I remember one day I was like looking at the wheel and I was like, I've never clicked settings on this. And I clicked it and I saw low latency mode. And I clicked it off. And I heard the vocal, and I was like, oh my God, it sounds so much better. And album's done, you know what I mean?